Tyson's back.
That Frank's going to join us now. And why is Frank Warren, Tyson Fury's UK promoter, joining us live? Because earlier this morning, the news came to us that Fury Usyk is off. And we heard from Alex Krasiuk, the Usyk's manager, who told us their understanding of the situation.
The fight is called off. The reason for that is that it went too far. So there was a feeling that after Usyk accepted 70-30, Tyson Fury started to think that he can put a saddle on his neck and start riding Usyk as much as he can. It's not right.
So that was Oleksandr Krasiuk telling us it's off and it's really down to them. So Frank Warren, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I take it you can confirm to us now, Frank, that it's off.
No, I'm not confirming it's off. You know, all I've had from him officially was an email. Yes, he said, "Gentlemen, hope you're all okay. I'm not going into details as well. This is how it's written. It's not my grammar. I'm not going into details as well. Start to blame or point a finger to anyone, but would like to officially to announce what Team Usyk is out of further negotiations regarding April 29th fight. You guys can put your pencils down, so we will speak in the near future. Best regards, Aegis on behalf of the Usyk team." We got that yesterday. That's the first we heard of it. On Sunday, we had a conference call with all the parties on board, respective parties' lawyers, Queensbury, K2, which is his promotional company, Aegis, Alex Krasiuk, and Top Rank to discuss the outstanding issues that they highlighted, which were mostly regarding tickets, travel, who walks first, second, who steps on the scales, pretty petty stuff. And we got it all out of the way except for one issue, and that was the rematch. As you know, Tyson publicly stated we should scrap the rematch. This was not to put a barrier for the fight, but to simplify the deal. You look at rematch clauses, Jim, they can be very difficult. And Tyson's been there before when a rematch blocked a fight with him and Joshua. If you remember, Wilder took him to court. I think it cost him nearly $2 million in legal fees. And that kiboshed that fight with Joshua a couple of years ago. So Tyson said, no rematch, let's just get on with it. Anyway, I convinced Tyson to take the rematch, and he did. So I told him on Sunday, we're going to go with a rematch. Then we got into a situation with, how is the rematch going to, work? How's it going to be split? The money's to the winners and the losers. And that's what we've been working on.
What's going on, guys? Well, we've got, I won't say breaking news, not so breaking news now. I think most people have heard the news that Tyson Fury versus Usyk is off. A lot of people speculated that negotiations were not going well. There were a lot of red flags that this fight was going to be delayed, and a lot of us just stayed quite optimistic. I think it was a lot of optimism that, it will get done. Most of us did believe it would get done. There were some other YouTubers out there who said from the beginning that this fight is, well, not from the beginning, but as soon as things didn't look good, they didn't think it was going to happen, and they were very right. Especially YB, definitely check him out. He's right quite a lot of the times. I actually thought on this occasion that he may be wrong, but he actually proved to be right. They may still get it on. There's still some time for them to sort out the negotiations. It may happen, but it is very, very unlikely at this point that something's going to change. Now, what do I think happened? I'll tell you a few of the things that I think happened. This is my perspective. Now, I wish there was a way that they don't let the actual boxers, the actual fighters, into the negotiation directly. It would be much preferable if, their representatives, in Tyson Fury's case, Frank Warren, and Usyk's is his manager, Krasiuk. It would be better if these representatives acted on behalf of the fighters, and then you kind of liaise with the fighters afterwards, than kind of having them at the front line, if you like, of negotiations, because fighters tend to be emotional people with egos, and this is exactly the reason why this fight collapsed. You know, the professional side, the people who want to get the fight done, they could have probably got this done in a few minutes. But because of, well, we're going to get into who it was, Tyson Fury not really liking Usyk, all that stuff, calling him names is not just behind the scenes. Tyson Fury doesn't really do those kind of things unless he really doesn't like you. And I think they've got some kind of beef and he just doesn't really like Usyk. And so he's got an ego. I feel like for Tyson Fury, he just wants to be paid more money than Anthony Joshua got. That's all it is, just an ego thing. One, he doesn't really like Usyk for whatever reason, maybe something to do with the war with Ukraine and he kind of disagrees with it or something. He's got some personal thing, but he also he doesn't like Anthony Joshua and he wants to be able to say, I got double what Anthony Joshua got or whatever, right? Now, the reason why I say that is Tyson Fury on a number of occasions has said that he doesn't care about the money. He said, I don't care about money. I've got more money than I can spend. I rather get the fight on for the fans. He said this so many times that he does not care about money. He's not greedy like some of these other people. He's really kind of set himself aside from different people who care about money and that he's not that type of person. So to be pushing Usyk to have the 70-30 split and, no rematch and no matter who wins, he still, if there is a rematch, he gets 70-30 in the rematch. To be pushing so hard like this about money is a complete contradiction, which makes me think that either Tyson Fury just contradicts himself all the time and you can't trust anything he says, or there's something behind it. It's more the fact that he doesn't like Usyk and there's emotions involved and that he wants to be able to laugh in Anthony Joshua's face to say, I got more money than you. That's one of the first things. The reason why I think it's unfair on Usyk is because the first demand was Tyson Fury is the A side. He wants 70-30. Yeah. Usyk's team was trying to get 50-50 and Tyson Fury didn't want to go for that. Fair enough. I think it's arguable that Tyson Fury is the A side. So I think 70-30, let's say that's fair. So Usyk agreed to this. He agreed to this, but I think with the fight location now being changed to the UK, it really puts a lot of favour in Tyson Fury. It's Tyson Fury's backyard. The UK fans are going to get behind him. This means something, You can't expect Usyk to accept 70-30, and now in Tyson Fury's backyard and no rematch. It doesn't make sense. You're just completely disrespecting a world champion, and obviously Usyk's not going to take that. Accepting the 70-30, fair enough, he accepted that, but now it's in Wembley, in Tyson Fury's backyard. Yeah, even this Usyk accepted, but then Tyson Fury was saying something about he doesn't want the rematch. Now that does not make any sense for Usyk. What if there was a big robbery? What if Usyk outboxed Tyson Fury and surprise, surprise, he didn't get the decision in Wembley in front of all the English fans, yeah? He couldn't do nothing about it. No rematch. You've lost all the things you've worked for because you got robbed and you can't do nothing about it. Does that sound fair? It doesn't sound fair. So obviously the rematch is important to Usyk. So he said he wants the rematch. Now, if he wins in Wembley, in Tyson Fury's hometown, shouldn't the 70-30 split go back the other way? Apparently not. Apparently, it's still, in a rematch, it still would be 70-30. Does that make sense in Tyson Fury's favour? Because he brings all the crowd and Does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I haven't even seen that. Most people, if they got, the major part of it, like Anthony Joshua did, then it goes back the other way. 50-50 and then 50-50 the other way. Or whoever is the champion gets the benefit and gets the higher split. It just makes sense. It doesn't make sense to have 70-30 in the main fight and then in the rematch as well. So that doesn't make sense. Then there were all this kind of ego stuff getting in the way. Oleksandr Usyk didn't really like the fact that he was giving away all this stuff. He's going to be fighting in Wembley and then he's giving away the 70-30 and Tyson Fury's name is there first and all that. So he said you have to donate £1 million to the war. Yeah. Now, Tyson Fury, another egotistical kind of mindset, he doesn't want to do that because it's like giving in to his demands. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's just ridiculous. Come on. Just ridiculous. It's fair. Okay, I'll give 1 million to your cause. What does it matter what the cause is about if you don't think it's right? You make some concession, he's made a concession, you make a concession. It's called compromise. But because these two fighters couldn't compromise, all the fans, not just the British fans, but all the fans across the world suffer. We don't get to see this fight. What was the point? What's the point of having these fighters in there if they can't be, if they can't be rational, And basically what they're saying is that it's Tyson Fury who's the one who was difficult to deal with. Now, I know there's always two sides to a story, but come on, whose side do you think you believe more? It's looking more 70-30, who I would believe more in Usyk's favour, to be honest. Because we're seeing it live in front of our face that Tyson Fury is a difficult person to deal with. Usyk's team has said that Tyson Fury tried to get too much. He refused any kind of compromise, and he actually said good things about Warren. He actually said that Frank Warren was actually doing everything he could. And of course he was trying to do everything he could. He wants to save this. He wants to save that bag, that money, all the stuff, all the time and effort and money that's been put into negotiations, only to be thrown down the sink because of Tyson Fury's ego. Tyson Fury, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying nothing to your cause. I get the major money in the fight and in the rematch. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to make sense. And Usyk, he's got pride himself. Yeah, he's not going to agree to less money in the main fight and in the rematch. He's not going to agree to all those things. He can't get this, he can't get that. He can't get the £1 million for his donation for the cause. And then he's got to be dealing with some kind of abuse from Tyson Fury as well, who doesn't like him, and all these emotional stuff. And now, I'm not surprised that the team, it's basically Usyk. It's not Usyk's team. It's Usyk that said, I don't want to deal with him anymore. Not interested. And the team actually been trying to speak to Usyk to get him to change his mind. But now, he doesn't want to change his mind because he's in his feelings as well. Because Tyson Fury basically has pissed him off so much that he doesn't even want to fight anymore. He wants his concessions now met. And this is the thing. If you're fair with somebody, it makes the other person want to be fair to you. But if you're not fair, you're rude, you're bad-mannered. I mean, one of Usyk's team was even saying, Tyson Fury said he hasn't been one day in school. So maybe this is the reason why he acts like this, because he doesn't know how to treat people. They haven't been treated nice by Tyson Fury. And because of this, Usyk now doesn't want to do a deal with him. Even if they were to make certain little concessions, Usyk doesn't really want to do business with him now. Do you see what I mean? And I feel like Frank Warren is really upset with Tyson Fury, but he can't say it. Because no matter how much Frank Warren has to put on a brave face and try to protect Tyson Fury, act as if Tyson Fury hasn't done anything wrong, he's upset with Tyson Fury. He knows that Tyson Fury's bad attitude and dismissing him and all the stuff that he's been doing, these antics where they've said that he's extremely difficult to deal with, he's had to cover for Tyson Fury's attitude, and the fight hasn't been made because of that. Very disappointing. I know that they say there's a chance, but I don't know. I think Usyk would have to kind of get over his feelings, because I know that Tyson Fury has upset him, and that's why he's digging his heels in. But honestly, Frank Warren and Usyk's team would really have to kind of calm these guys down. Someone's got to speak to Tyson Fury and get him to be sensible and make some kind of allowances so that the fight can happen. But because of Tyson Fury's kind of mindset, I don't see it happening. It could happen. I'm not one of these people that are going to say 100% it's not going to happen. I'll be happy if they come to some arrangement. But I just feel that there's just too many egos involved, and my inclination is it's on Tyson Fury's side. Like I said before, Tyson Fury said he doesn't care about money, but all of a sudden he wants a 70-30 split. It's in Wembley. He had to make him jump through hoops to do the rematch when it's the decent thing to do to have a rematch, because obviously you're in your hometown. It's not his hometown, but it's the UK. Yeah, why should Usyk come with all his belts with no guarantee? Gets robbed, and there's no way of sorting it out. Both men would like the opportunity to overcome, a decision that they think didn't go in their favor, which can easily happen. So it makes sense to have a rematch. I can't see why Tyson Fury wouldn't see that. Maybe because he's an emotional person who, when he's in his emotions, all reason just disappears. And I think this is why they don't want to do business with him anymore. And now that we're seeing this kind of personality from Tyson Fury, we can see why the anti-Joshua thing didn't get made. Tyson Fury was the one coming out giving Anthony Joshua, you've got 2 days, you've got 20 hours, you've got 10 hours. At the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is a man in his own right who's accomplished a lot of things. He's not going to be running behind Tyson Fury just because he lost to Usyk. So in the end, Anthony Joshua said, no, you're all right, we'll leave it. And as a result, they lost out on that fight. And it's the same attitude that I saw Tyson Fury kind of disrespecting Anthony Joshua just because he doesn't like him. It's the same attitude that he's showing in this fight, which is why this fight failed. If you look at Anthony Joshua was actually trying to do stuff to make the fight. He wasn't dodging him. He said, well, I can't start until a certain time in November or whenever it was. Frank Warren was actually willing to give Anthony Joshua the time he needed to make the fight. It was Tyson Fury who was pushing for these deadlines that were unrealistic, and it didn't get made in the end. Same thing here. So, for Tyson Fury to say that he steps up to the plate and other people are difficult to work with, but he's the one who gets it on, it doesn't seem like that now. Very disappointed. I hope I hold out like a 2%, hope that optimistically something can be done. But if not, it's just not looking good. And the worst thing is I can see exactly what's going to happen. The fight doesn't happen. Tyson Fury comes out as if he hasn't done anything wrong. He finds that the majority of the public think it's his fault, and then he has a hissy fit about it. He always does the same thing. He's going to have a hissy fit. The crowd are against him. The people are against him. He doesn't care anyway. Maybe he'll retire for the 50th time to get some sympathy. Or he's going to say he doesn't care about what people think. And he's just going to turn people off. And he has a habit of doing this time and time again. But I'm not going to make too many assumptions. Let's see how this thing plays out. If it doesn't happen, we'll have to move on just like the way Usyk is moving on. I would enjoy to see him fight Joe Joyce. I would enjoy to see him fight, some other top contenders. But to be honest, we wanted this fight more than anything, and we didn't get it. Very disappointed with Tyson Fury, who I believe is the main cause of this. I don't believe Usyk should have to kind of bend over backwards to make this fight happen. He's a champion in his own right. And I think it's very unfair on Usyk, to be honest. I do think that both of them kind of got in their emotions a bit too much. But at the end of the day, I think Tyson Fury is the one who could have made this fight happen, and he didn't. So, yeah, that's what I got for now. I'm on to the next one. Just as disappointed as everyone at the moment. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share. Let me know what you think of the video. I'm on to the next one.